The Sonic series has seen many ups and downs over the years, most noticeably in the 2000s, where the blue blur tried and failed to get into 3D right, with a few missteps such as Sonic 06 and Shadow the Hedgehog. But with 2010's Sonic Colors, Sega seemed to have finally cracked the code to making a great modern Sonic game. It proved to be a massive surprise and ended up as the basis for future games such as Generations and Forces. But as brilliant as this game was, unfortunately it was stuck on the Wii. So 11 years after its original release, Colors is finally coming to current gen consoles with this new remaster. So let's see how they did, shall we? Let's start off with the story first, and Colors is a pleasant little tale that sees Sonic and Tails investigating Dr. Eggman's new intergalactic space amusement park. It doesn't take them too long to find out that Eggman is up to no good again, using the native Wisps for their power, so it's up to Sonic and Tails to stop him. It's a basic and stripped down tale that works really well. There's no over dramatic stuff and no bucket load of Sonic friends here. It's easily one of the best stories in the series for that reason. As for the gameplay, this basically takes the daytime stages in Unleash as an inspiration and makes a full game out of it. The gameplay is split between the 3D behind Sonic gameplay and 2D platforming sections. The 3D stuff has been seen in many games since, and Colors does it arguably the best out of all the games. The levels are fast paced with many great set pieces, traps, and constantly requires you to have quick reflexes, unlike something like Sonic Forces, which felt like it was very much playing itself. Onto the 2D sections, and these sections translate quite well and hold up pretty good. For some, Sonic may handle a little bit odd, but once you get used to it you'll be fine, and these 2D sections do deliver some very fun and unique levels. Colors was the first game which introduced us to the Wisps, which have become a series mainstay since, even being used in Team Sonic Racing, and you can see why Sega has kept them in, as the Wisps are really fun and unique additions to the gameplay, from the rocket and the drill, which are great to use. Whilst there is a couple of so-so power-ups, they are well implemented into each of the game's many levels. Each of the game worlds contain around 6 levels, and these are a good mix. There's certainly a few that feel like they may be a little bit filler-like, as they're either very short or feel a bit of a retread of older ideas. But nevertheless, the game's bosses are also very fun. Some of them, like the one in Tropical Resort, is such a blast and easily one of the best bosses in the modern games. Sonic Colors Ultimate won't take you too long to reach the game's credits. It will take you around 6 to 8 hours to beat the game, which may sound short, but thankfully Colors is a very replayable game. There's plenty to do in, like unlocking secret levels, finding all the red rings, as well as trying to get the best time for each stage. For dedicated fans, there's a lot to like here, and if you want to aim for that elusive 100%, it's going to take you easily 15 to 20 hours. As this is titled the Ultimate Edition, you're probably wondering what is actually new here, and well, there isn't really a lot here. There's the remastered visuals and the soundtrack, which I'll talk about later on, but for content, it's just a few little bits and pieces. First up, there's these new tokens which you can collect in all the levels, and you can use these to customize Sonic, which is okay, but nothing really that special. We also have rival races, which sees Sonic race against Metal Sonic through 6 stages. Again, it kind of feels like filler content and is not really needed. There's also a few other new inclusions such as Tails tokens, which sees Tails saving you if you fall off a wall or a ledge, which is quite a cool idea. Onto the presentation side of things now, and this is a bit of a mixed bag. For the PlayStation and Xbox systems, the game sees a nice little but a bit basic spruce up to the graphics, with 4K compatibility on next-gen systems. But the best thing is that the game runs at 60 FPS and it's very impressive and buttery smooth. As for the Switch version though, this is where I was a bit disappointed. The game has seen a slight remaster in the graphics department, and for the most part it's a basic port running at 900p. But the biggest difference here is that there's no 60 FPS option whatsoever. The game runs at 30 FPS. It's a smooth 30 FPS granted with no drops, but for a basic remaster of a Wii game, it would have been nice to have the option to uncap the frame rate, as I'm sure 60 FPS could have been achievable. Continuing with the technical side of things, it's worth noting that there seems to be a lot of visual glitches in the game with all the different versions. There's a heck of a lot of popping, which is disappointing to see, as well as there's loads of flickering effects, which isn't good at all. That's not even counting the issues with Sonic falling out of the stage. For a remaster of an 11-year-old game that actually ran pretty perfectly on Wii, it's disappointing to see so many technical issues for this apparent ultimate version of this game. As for the soundtrack, the Sonic series is well known for their rockin' and catchy soundtracks, and Sonic Colors was no different. From its main theme, Reach for the Stars, to tracks that play during Tropical Resort and Planet Wisps, and for the most part the soundtrack is the same here, but there's a lot of remastered tracks here that unfortunately are pretty rubbish and sound nowhere near as good as the original music, in my opinion, as a lot of the remastered tracks feel extra bassy with unneeded extra instruments thrown in. It's unfortunate that you can't actually swap between the original and remastered soundtrack, which would have been a much better idea. Conclusion time now, and it's fantastic to replay Sonic Colors after all these years. Whilst this Ultimate Edition doesn't really add much, it's just a perfect excuse to play one of the best modern Sonic entries that still holds up really well to this day. With great level design, the brilliant introduction of the Wisps, and plenty of replay value, there's a lot to like here. While some levels do have quite a few cheap deaths, and the remaster is basic, and the 30 FPS lock on Switch is disappointing, and the few technical issues are not good at all, it's still a must buy for Sonic fans, especially if you haven't played it before. So with that, I'm giving Sonic Colors Ultimate a 7 out of 10 with the title of good. As always, thank you for watching my review. If you could like and subscribe, that would be totally awesome. And as always, till next time, happy gaming. Bye.